अशरीरं शरीरेषु अनवस्थेष्वस्थितम् महन्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरो न शोचति. So this last verse that we saw looks like a huge contradiction. That is where apparently the so-called intelligent person cannot accept it. How can it be asinah duram brajati, ever steady, immobile, but moves farthest? Sayano yati sarvatah, goes to sleep. Sayano sarvato yati, when it sleeps, it at once expands everywhere. The simple thing that you understood is two different standpoints. One is upadhi, your body, your mind, your thoughts. Other one is nirupadhika atma, the self that you are. From the standpoint of the self-awareness that you look at it, it is asina, absolutely steady, immobile, because all pervasive cannot have any movement. Kriya means, understand, kriya in Sanskrit, kriya means chalanatmika kriya. Kriya means action. Chalanatmika kriya. Any movement is known as the action. That is why simply you may say, I am simply sitting. You are not simply sitting now. That also is an action. Simply sitting also is an action. Because your thoughts are moving, your blood circulation taking place, heart is moving, you are aging. So just because you are sitting down, the system doesn't come to stand still. Action continues. That is why so beautifully Bhagavan says in Gita, Nahi dehavruta sakyam tyaktum karmani asesatah. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tisthati akarmakrut. In fact, the moment you are endowed with a body, you cannot remain without action even for a moment, because it's a continuous movement. So anything, when you consider something movement, chalanatmika kriya, there's a movement from a place to another place where you are not. That also is a kriya. I was in my room, I came to this place. You are in your place, you came to this place. From here we will go somewhere else. That is movement. In case of the self, the absolute, what you call Atma, Brahma, all pervasive, as we have seen it all pervasive cannot have a movement. Why? There is no place where it is not for it to move in. That is why immobile. Asina, but duram brajati, moves as though. Why? The physical body is moving. Asinah duram bhajati. The physical body moving. The thoughts are moving. That is why you shall say, my body is here, but I am somewhere. What do you know? You are somewhere. Your body is here. Your mind is at your home. Or somewhere in London, Paris, somewhere else. So that is what the movement takes place. But that movement doesn't belong to the self. Same as sayano yati sarvatah. When the physical body goes to sleep, and the body goes to sleep, now you are with the samanya jnanam, the knowledge, the absolute consciousness that you are. And what is the consciousness? All pervasive, just like, please see how it is. The space in your hand looks very tiny, so little, because confined to the hand. But the space in our hand is at once everywhere. How long does it take you to grasp that the space in my hand is space everywhere? You don't have to expand your hand, nor do you need to expand the space. Do you understand? To appreciate the expansiveness of the vast space, you don't have to expand your hand, nor can you expand the space. You cannot expand your hand to that extent because it is limited. There is no need to expand the space because it is already everywhere. Same way also, consciousness, yourself, the awareness that is already ever existing, all pervasive. Therefore, sayano, when the body goes to sleep, the body falls asleep, the mind is folded up, consciousness as though everywhere. So you are one with that, knowing which nothing else remains to be known. Because that is the content of everything. And that's something, as we saw, anoraniyan, smaller than the smallest, yet mahato mahiyan, bigger than the biggest, because itself is dimensionless. That is why that word Brahman, when you want to name it Brahman. I hope you remember that concept very clearly, just like Omkar, that Atma, these words, same thing also, Brahman. Brahman in Sanskrit does not mean big. In real terms, if you appreciate it, Brahman means bigness. You work on that. I have already explained to you, but I'll explain you again. Just think of this. The adjective is, Visheshana is big. What is big? When you say, what is an adjective? Which qualifies the noun. When I say big bottle, now you say big hibiscus. It's big hibiscus. Big house. Now big is adjective, right? Because qualifies the flower, qualifies the house, qualifies the bottle, right? Just see the twist now. House big. When you say the big house, big remaining the same, things are changing. So big is changing its meaning. When it's a big house, it is house big. When it's a big bottle, it is bottle big. When it's a big flower, it is flower big. So now which is adjective? Everything becomes adjective. Are you getting that? Now the big becomes a noun. And that is what it is. Bigness. Tree is. Mountain is. Man is. Creation is. I is. Don't worry about grammar. I is. Now that isness, see that? I is. I am. The tree is. That isness. Just like big tree, big house, big seems to qualify everything. But in reality, it is now house big, tree big. So the bigness is something becomes common. Isness becomes something common to everything. Existence becomes too common. And other things are continuously changing. So that's something which gives everything the existence. Itself is independent of everything. You want to name it? Brahman. That's why you can't describe. What can you say about it? That is why about yourself. If you want to name that word, Brahman, it's not just a name given. It has a meaning for that. Bruhatatvat Brahman, that is the bigger than the biggest. Because itself is dimensionless, but gives dimension to everything. Like space is dimensionless. No length, no breadth, no height. But when you say mountain is big, that means it occupies that much of space. Big mountain, meaning occupying big space. Big tree, occupying big space. So the space itself is dimensionless. But it gives the dimension to other things. Big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest. Small, smaller, smallest means small space, smaller space, smallest space it occupies. Big mountain, bigger mountain, biggest mountain means it occupies big space, biggest space. But the space itself is neither big, bigger, biggest, nor small, smaller, smallest. Itself is dimensionless, but provides dimension to everything. Bigness, existence, consciousness, Bruhat, Brahman, itself dimensionless, provides dimension to everything in and through waking, dream, deep sleep, gross body, subtle body, causal body. it remains everywhere. That is why this is the, when you see this, you enjoy the contradiction. Asinaha duram brajati. From my own standpoint, all pervasive existence, no mobility. Yet duram brajati moves around with the body and the mind. Shayano yati sarvata. Body is now resting, but I am at once everywhere.